to dive on into a conversation about the Port of Shelton here on I-Fiber 1. We've got Port of Shelton Commissioner Chair Dick Taylor and Deputy Director Wendy Smith on with us. Good morning, gang.
Good morning.
Good to see you guys. As usual here, we're good. And you guys?
Super.
Good.
How about them Mariners?
How about those Mariners?
Yeah.
We finally got a win.
It's been a little bit of a dry spell, I'd say, these days.
Yeah, it was great, though.
Cascadia Rising is going on right now up on port property. What's kind of been the impact that you've seen, if any, really?
Very little impact to us. I mean, we're the landlord, and so they're over there they've got their equipment set up, their tents, and that sort of thing, and they're doing their thing. And there's, of course, increased air traffic that's coming in and out, but we haven't seen too much of it yet.
You just said something that totally made a light bulb go on. You're the landlord. They're renting space. It's not like you go and get involved with every other tenant's business.
No.
So they're just doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
Now, we've been involved in the planning to know that, what services we have to provide and what we can do with what they can do with the airfield, what the capabilities of the airfield are, things like that. But no, they're actually, we're the landlord.
Yeah.
So hopefully you won't have to send them a bill for cleanup after they leave, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
What else is happening on port property these days?
Well, I wanted to let you know that yesterday the commission approved a lease. It's actually a continuation of a current lease, but it's with TrueFab, and they've been on port property now for 5 years, and so this is a 5-year extension. We're happy to keep them and excited about the renewal. It's kind of a unique situation. 5 years ago, they basically took over from, it was Olympic Tool was the company in there, Olympic Fabrication, I think, at that point. So it was kind of it was a certified aerospace, and then it went to Olympic Tool, and then Olympic Fab, and now TrueFab. And two of the individuals, Don Putvin and John Rysick, decided to start this company, and the port was integral in letting that happen. It was a big ordeal, lots of equipment involved, and it was quite the undertaking for those two individuals. So the port, by resolution back 5 years ago, authorized the port to purchase their equipment and then surplus their equipment, and so they basically bought it back in this last 5 years. So it's this month is kind of a big month for them. They've paid off all their debts to the port in terms of equipment ownership, so we did a note receivable. I mean, it's just kind of been this paperwork deal, and it's a big deal. So we're really excited that they signed back on and continued to
They're to me a poster child of what we can do at the port. We were able to help that. There's a startup company with a huge capital investment right off the bat, and they needed help. And we were able to do that. And ports, normally governments can't do that. But the ports are set up differently. We're a municipal corporation, and we operate more as a business than a governmental agency. And so we were able to do that, and I'm just really pleased. Those two guys are working their tails off. I've known them for years, and I'm just glad to see them excelling and getting ahead.
Do you have other businesses that utilize that type of a program with you?
We have done deferrals, so payment deferrals where we can wrap payments up into, a longer term, kind of like a loan would be. And so we have some that have undertaken that, but nothing like this. The equipment, buying the equipment and selling it back was a whole new, idea, and it worked, and it was successful, and it was great. So, yeah, so they've got, Don said the other day he was in, and he said they are, actually turning down some work. They're so busy that they've got about 38 employees. I think verified number was 32, but it fluctuates. So he's up in the 40s and he's down, so I'm just going to average that out to about 38. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's great. And now you know that model works, and maybe in the future you can utilize it again.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow, that's really great.
And these are two local guys.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Also, yesterday, she's sitting in the room right now, but Commissioner Buck and you guys started talking about moving on from the deputy director position for Wendy to more of a permanent position. So that's coming up maybe on the 21st.
Right. We started the discussion yesterday.
And so however it plays out, it'll be an open process, and the public can go
Of
to the
course.
meetings on the 21st.
Of
Is
course.
maybe one of the first
Yeah.
ones. Okay, very nice.
And what we will do is, it's been suggested for a long time, but it came out in the open yesterday when Commissioner Buck discussed it. So what we're going to do is we're each individually going to talk to Wendy and make our own impressions and what we're going to do and that sort of thing, and then come back on the 21st and get an official vote or process going.
Does it have to open to the? Do you have to, because you're kind of we were just talking about you being not the same as
Right.
a city or a county.
No, we don't have to.
Okay.
We can hire from within, and that's done
Yeah.
in lots of cases.
Okay. Very good.
And I think when we first started this discussion, 2 months ago, I said that I liked promoting from within,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I've done that for a long time in
Sure.
my career.
You know who you know,
Yeah.
and they know the business, they know the insides
You
and
also
outs.
know sometimes when the person from within wants to go up, you don't want them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We'll find out how this plays out in the next
Yeah.
couple of weeks during the meeting.
So yeah, we'll
Okay.
come to resolution. What is it? 21st. 21st. Yeah.
Next meeting.
Couldn't remember the date.
What else is happening with you guys?
Well, the governor's coming today.
Yeah.
We're going to say hello to the governor when he comes by.
So he's going to stop. It's not a flyby.
He's flying into the airport, and then he's going up to the Public Works where the EOC is, the Emergency
Okay.
Operating Center, and then he'll stop by our office on his way back down to look at the facilities where his troops are working.
Yeah.
So they are his troops,
Right.
You know.
That is true.
his guardsmen.
Does he come into the Shelton area often over the last 7 years? I guess he's
Well,
been in office
officially,
now?
I haven't seen him since I've been there.
Oh,
Officially.
Right.
But he may have been in for other things. I don't know.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah.
well, this is a big event.
Yeah, we used to see Christine Gregbart once in a while.
Sure.
When Marlene was commissioner, she would come in.
Come out.
But no, we haven't seen Governor Inslee that I know of.
Speaking of Governor
Yeah.
Inslee, just one more thing that he proclaimed this week is that this week, June 4th through June 11th, is Shellfish Week. So that's a big deal for this community.
Yeah.
With being that, shellfish is kind of some of the bread and butter, and, it's
Yeah.
shellfish capital of the world almost. So we think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it really is. Bill Dewey was on with us last week kind of talking about that too. Pretty amazing how this little part of the world is the worldwide leader in shellfish.
Right.
Very nice.
And some of the seeds for those shellfish are grown right here in the marina, in Flupsies in the marina.
Yeah.
That's right. You guys
Where
have
the
those
whole
Flupsies.
industry
Yep.
starts from.
That's right.
Yep.
Full circle. Very
Here
cool.
we go. Yeah.
Dick Taylor, Wendy Smith, Port of Shelton, Port of Call today. Thank you for coming in. Always good to
Our
see you. I
pleasure.
know you got
Thank you.
another busy day here as the Cascadia Rising is going on, so we'll talk with you next week.
Sounds good.
All
ya.
right. It's 8:52 here at iFiber One News Radio.
ABC Entertainment News. Here's Jason Nathanson.